Same thing with Longest Yard. You had the wrestlers, you had the comedians, you had the football players. I mean, you had all that together, and you had a classic movie, where I grew up watching the Burt Reynolds version, the first one. And you're like, man, this is one reason why I even tried playing football in the first place. You're like, and dude, that's what, to me, all I can say is that I've been given more opportunities. I must rephrase that. I seized more opportunities. Mm-hmm. Because this is the thing, people give you charity. Opportunities aren't really given.
Right.
You seize them.
Right.
You grab it. It's like hunting. It's like sitting in the forest and living there watching, and all of a sudden you see something that you want, and you see it, and if you go up to it, it'll run away. But you got to grab it. And I remember just grabbing every little scene, every little thing. I'll never forget getting the opportunity on Expendables. Here I am, man. Sylvester Stallone, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Bruce Willis, me. And wait, I wasn't the first pick. It was supposed to be Wesley Snipes. But Wesley had got down on all that tax stuff, and then they went to Forest Whitaker, and he couldn't do it. And then they said, oh, well, we got this guy, Terry Crews. I was like, I'm here. Yo.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
Hey, man, I didn't look at that as down. Most of my stuff has been like, man, somebody dropped out, I'm taking it, seizing it. And dude, here I am in the Expendables movie, and Sly give me that tunnel scene. I'm blowing people away, boom, 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 coming through that tunnel, and people flipping them up. They in the theater jumping up. And I'm going, who gets this? Who gets this? Like, to make people laugh, to make people jump, to make people, I've been given more moments than probably any other actor that I know I work with. This cat's been on TV 20 years, don't get those kind of moments. You know what I mean? Yes. And that's where I'm like, man, and this is where, again though, had I not been through all that stuff in the NFL, I wouldn't have learned what it took. You understand what I'm saying? I wouldn't. I probably would have got complacent. Probably would have been like, yeah, it's automatic. And I've seen people get there like, yeah, I should have had that yesterday. But I never feel that way, man. I'm always, especially now that we're losing people, especially now.
You turned down the Expendable 4 roles because of an assault and because you refused to withdraw the petition of the civil suit. Was that difficult for you, or were you standing on, as they say, not business, but principle? It was
extremely difficult because I love those guys, man. We did this together. Randy Couture, Dolph Lundgren, Sylvester Stallone. I call him my dad in the business. He was like, man, I'm gonna put you in this thing. And then when the fourth one came, the producer told me, you ain't gonna be in it if you don't drop this case. I said, come on, man. I said, what kind of game are you playing? Now remember, I already been manipulated by the NFL. I'd never forget when I had to go home on that Monday. I had to bring back my playbook.
Right.
So you can get rid of me anytime you want. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But this was my terms. This is my Barry ain't going back. You know what I mean? This is me like, no, I'm not going to nod my head yes and mean no. I mean no this time.
Right.
And I love those guys, man. Jason Statham, all of them. And I hope we can do something together in the future. And it ain't their fault. You know what I mean? But there was just things I have to say, remember now, like I said, if I'm doing it, you got to know I've already counted all the costs. All the costs. And I've done many, many things for free, but that meant more to me than the things I got paid a lot of money on.
How difficult was it to come out? Because you said a Hollywood exec roped you.
Yeah.
And that's not easy for a man, especially a man of your stature.
Right.
And then all of a sudden the fabrications of the stories that started being fabricated about you.
Yeah.
Did you think, because you said anytime you come out with something, you've already calculated the risk and the cost of whatever you're going to say or do.
Yeah.
Did you think you would get the kind of blowback because I don't think a whole lot of people believed you.
Yeah. I knew it was going to be strange. First of all, if it hadn't happened to me and I heard it, I'd have been like, man, what is this dude talking about? Mm-hmm. That's why I never got mad. I couldn't get mad at people going, man, what are you doing, man? Big ass Terry Crews.
Right.
But see, I'd already been through probably 8 years of therapy, me and my wife rebuilding, me understanding what true power was, me understanding that it wasn't about how hard you see, you got to understand, in the NFL, road rage works. That works. But in real life, go to jail. Real life, hey man, you do what you did on the NFL football field, you do what you did in MMA, you going to jail, straight to jail. Right. Jail full of cats that was like, I ain't taking that.
Right.
And I realized, well, because my wife made me promise, she said, Terry, because she, you know, I used to have hair trigger and temper and be fighting people. And she was like, man, what are you doing? She's like, we're going to lose everything. You can't do this. You got a son now. And the son was my last one. That's my fifth. She said, you want to be able to show him, you want to be able to be there for him, but you acting like this? And I realized something. And I said, man, there's much more power in thinking your way out of situations than fighting your way out of them. And this was what blew me away. It's because my wife was right there. And I remember we went home and I was like, this is bullshit. I was like, I can't believe this. She said, Terry. She said, ain't a woman in your life ain't been through that shit. Said, okay. Wow. And she said, now what you gonna do? He said, because we can't fight our way throughout this stuff. He said, your daughter, your mother, me, been places where you just had to eat it. I said, you're right. And I said, you know what though? I said, I'm gonna do it the other way. I'm gonna sue him. And she said, there you go. And I'm gonna tell you how to do it. Wow. My wife was right there with me. And she said, you tell what happened and you show people this could happen. And I remember, I said, hey man, size ain't got nothing to do with it. First of all, if you did it, I mean, look, it's like saying, I'm too big to get shot. Well.
Actually, you the perfect size.
You see what I'm saying? Hey, well, if the bullet hit,
yeah.
What you know what I mean? No, I'm big, I'm giant. My chest was so, right. No, that went right through. I'm standing there and it happened.
Yeah.
Just if I acknowledge, if I don't say nothing, that don't mean it didn't happen.
Correct.
So what does that mean? But now I said, hold up. Because they were telling me that he could get away with it, he could do it. This is my agency, man. I paid y'all millions of dollars, man, millions. And of course, I'm sitting here going, I'm on the black side of this thing, so I'm going, yo, wait a minute. Now, would you be doing this to your white clients?
Right.
I'm going, I said, so what is going on? Why is this dude still there? And they said, well, they thought I was trying to do some money, like give me a money grab. I said, no. I said, I don't want no money, but he got to go. You don't get to touch the clients. You don't get to do that. And all of a sudden they were like, no, he gets to stay. He's a partner. I was like, all right, we go. And dude, I spent $500,000 of my own money. But how many women have that? How many people have that? How many? I was in the position, like I said, how many? I get to have that because I got that kind of money. But for me, I would have spent $1 million to win $1. And I said to my wife, and my wife was like, go ahead, Terry. She said, this is how you fight. Not with your fists, but you think your way through this thing. And you know what? They finally came up with it and finally, because this is the thing. When you do stuff like that, you don't rob the biggest bank in the place. You rob a whole bunch of little ones. And all these people came out the woodwork, man, that nobody knows about that joined my case. They were like, yeah, he did this to me too. Yeah, he did this. He was coming. I said, this dude. And all of a sudden, they were like, hey, Terry, guess what? We're going to fire him and we're going to give you all your money back. How about that? I said, cool.
All the money that y'all done took in from them fees, I need that.
All that. Give me my money back. Thank you. And I moved on. Right. But remember, it's not about revenge. Right. It's about, but this the men, and this is one thing I want every man out there to know, is that you worth it. Because you can discount yourself. Like, oh man, it wasn't no thing. It ain't no thing. But this is the thing. How I had to look at myself. I have a little picture of myself when I was 10 years old on my desk. And I said, man, what if somebody had messed with that little kid? What would you do? That's you. Take care of you. Take care of you. Really. Don't let nobody treat that little boy like he's worth less. Because that little boy is me. Wow. And that's the same thing. I think every man needs to understand who he really, really is. And the thing is, doesn't mean beating people up. Right. Doesn't mean swinging a bat, shooting up the place. Doesn't mean driving a car through the center of the thing. It means, hey man, you can't do that. No. Standing up and taking your voice, and that's your story. And I stood with all, and let me say, I was inspired by all these women that came forward. That was like, hey, me too. This happened to me. This happened to me. And you know what? I cannot count the number of men that came forward. And it was like, man, wrestlers, NFL players, all this. They was like, you know, that happened to me. And they would come up. Now, I would never tell people to make their stuff public. Right. I would never, ever say it. But you got to tell a counselor, a friend, somebody so that you can get past this. And I was just in the public eye, and I had that skill and ability to deal with it in the public because I'm always public.
How did it make you feel that some prominent people in our community made light of your situation?
I understood it. Man, you gotta know, I'm from Flint, man. You know, first of all, you grow up with, you in the hood, you know about what's wrong with you. You know what I mean? You got a big head, that's big head Johnny. Right. You got big ears, that's ears, whatever. You know? You know? Right. It's like you grow up with, you gotta be tough. Right. That's the whole thing. Trash talk, whatever, get dunked on, you don't live it down. I mean, that's just the way it was. And I started to realize, well, they're gonna talk anyway. So. You know what I mean? So let me give them something to talk about. But I started to realize, when I had so many black people come forward and say, thank you. Thank you. Hey, bro, thank you for coming forward and saying what happened. Right. Because that happened to me. Man, people pulling me to the side. And that's where I know I was right. I said, no, this is a problem. I was going to parties, going to Hollywood stuff, man, and people pulling me to the side in tears. I just got to talk to somebody. And I'm going, man, I knew when I went in front of the United States Congress and told that story in front of all those senators and the whole thing, I said, this is a major problem. And I knew my purpose. It was almost like it transcended football, Hollywood. Now I'm in the government circles and I'm going, wow. And if one person's life changed because of that, it was worth it. I was with all these Sandler movies. Adam Sandler called me. But the thing is, when I did Longest Yard, which was my revenge on the NFL, right? Me and Michael Irvin, the whole movie, I was like, this is the one everybody gonna remember. Like, good God, like, who gets that? Right. You know what I mean? And I remember Chris Rock was like, hey man, he's on the movie, Longest Yard. He said, dude, you killing, I got something for you. I said, what is it? He said, don't worry about it, I got something for you. I go home, the script for Everybody Hates Chris is literally on my doorstep. I open that up, he's like, I want you to play my dad. Because he saw me and my wife and my 2 kids out there in Santa Fe, New Mexico, when we was filming Longest Yard. He was watching. And that's the thing you got to remember, everybody is watching. Everybody is watching. And so then I played Chris's dad, and Everybody Hates Chris for 4 years straight. Man, when I look at my life, man, I just thank God for every opportunity. And now this is another thing, because I'm now reached the point, because I play with all these guys and they're gone. Now I'm losing actors. Man, Andre Bauer passed away last week. And he took me under his wing, man. You talking about one of the best actors of our generation.
Right.
I mean, Juilliard trained, absolutely incredible, Emmy Award winning, dramatic beast.
Right. Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Correct?
Brooklyn Nine-Nine, who was able to come and flip it to a comedy like that. And I was like, man, what is the secret? And he never, this is another thing, he was like a super all-pro who could have looked down on all of us, but decided he was just gonna pull us all up with him. 61 years old. He was like my big brother.
Right.
I look at guys that are dying. When I look at Michael Clark Duncan's gone. Tiny Lister, gone. Lance Reddick, gone. And I'm like, Chadwick Boseman, gone. We did a movie Draft Day together. Okay? And I'm going, man, you don't have forever. You don't. You gotta go for it. You got to get what you are come to get now. And you can't waste time. You can't treat it like, well, I'll whatever.
Do it tomorrow.
Because I seen it in the NFL. And everybody thought, and this is the thing, everybody had determined certain people that already won. Like, I won life, he won. You know, people say, hey, won the internet, whatever. It ain't never over it. It's never how you start. It's how you finish.
Right.
And let me tell you, when I'm done, and I'll be honest with you, man, I'm just getting started. I truly, truly feel I have the same energy that I had when I first started. I'm really thankful to be sitting here with you right now. But I admire you for just your transition. You know what I mean? And the energy that you bring. Your passion is palpable. And I'm the same way. I'm 100% passion.
Right.
That's all I am.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't know no other way. I have no other way. I do everything like I'm getting $1 million.
Want to join Club Shay Shay? Become an official member by hitting that subscribe button, where you never know who's going to be joining us for drinks and conversation. Don't be late to the party, because you know we like to do something before two something.